Hello there, everybody. Kathy Hamilton here. It has been a hot minute since I've actually done a video. And I probably have a feeling that you are all in a very similar boat to me in that life has just gotten a bit more complicated than I'm probably used to. And but I have been wanting to actually kind of get back in the game here for a long time. Quite frankly, just my parents, there's just been a lot of extra demands on me with them. They've they're aging, and I'm having to do a bit more with them than I'm used to having to do. And that's been kind of going on off and on for the past couple of years now. But it's just hard. And anybody else who's had that caregiver role in any kind of capacity totally understands what I'm talking about. So like I'm very thankful and appreciative that I'm able to help, but at the same time, it does really eat into just my energy. It's a drain on energy, just organizing doctor appointments and either taking them physically to said doctor appointment and going actually into doctor appointments, or making sure they have a way to get to another doctor appointment, just with everything else on top of just, the world kind of being as it is and everything just kind of being in this like state of flux, including myself. So I'm having to really just like honor where I'm at. And also, I feel like for the past couple of years, I've been almost fighting, like trying to figure out a way out of it in a way, not like out of doing certain things, but like figuring out a way to get out of being like a little bit angsty about it, or to make it easier than it actually is. And quite frankly, it's just not working. I think I'm having to just absolve and surrender to the situation and realize it is an energy drain on me. And there's only so much time in the day for me to actually work my full-time job, do some, like, I feel like they're almost becoming a part-time job for me. And then also have time to do what I actually love to do, which is this. But I'm really feeling called back into it, and I'm feeling really excited about that. So I've been waiting and waiting for the perfect time to do a video. And so I decided, you know what? Now is the perfect time. So I'm not wearing what I would wanted to wear for the video. I didn't have my hair done or my makeup on in the way that I wanted to, but I'm showing up as is, real, and this is kind of how it's going. So there is that. So some of you may not know me as Kathy Hamilton. You like if you're a TikToker, my handle there is coolest mom ever, and on Instagram I'm Kathy HTG, and obviously the HTG comes from Happy Tappy Girl, which is my online business. Which I would always kind of thought of myself like I gave myself more the coaching title, but I never really thought of myself as a coach per se. I have since like done like 3.5 years. I did a 3-year program for life mastery training where I became a full spectrum energy healer. I got certified with that. And I will say that's kind of always what I have felt more of myself, is that I am an energy healer. So I'm not really healing anything. I'm just facilitating the healing in whoever I'm working with. So I'm kind of back in the saddle. But what I am excited about and what I am committed to doing in some capacity, and I think just by doing these off the cuff videos, because that tends to always have been my jam anyway, is I kind of want to do a let's get visual challenge. In that there's a lot of things happening in all of our lives and in the world in general that like we just simply don't like. And I have like I'm doing my bit with taking some inspired action where I see fit out there to maybe help calm the waters, if you will, or whatever. I don't even really want to get into all that because it's like I'm also I just feel that excuse me, what we really need more of is just reconnection to ourselves and what we actually want. Because there's a lot going on out there that we don't like, and we're all kind of laser focused. I mean, there's a million Facebook posts and a million posts all over the place where this person's doing that or this person's doing that, and everyone's just kind of at odds with each other. And quite frankly, I'm fucking tired of it. And also like, I need to own my part, as we all do, like in this collectively, because we didn't just, like there's no one individual who's like solely responsible for any of it. This is a collective consciousness that we've created out there. And so we've all got to own our part in the contribution to what we're not liking and what we're not seeing. I mean, what we are seeing, and then also what we're not seeing that we really want to see more of. So I feel like that has kind of really been what's up for me in general. And I mean, I tend to always have been a unifier. Um, and so I don't like all the division at all that is out there. I think it's counterproductive. It's kind of driving me crazy. And I just feel like instead of trying to figure out like why or like just kind of deep dive into it, I just feel like, I guarantee if we all talk to each other more, we all want similar things and we all don't like similar things. It's just maybe how we're approaching it. Now, I'm not saying that people in your life have maybe not done or said things to you that have been problematic, or even damaging. I've had things said to me, in our political climate that it is. However, what I think what's happened to me is over the past like couple of years, maybe even since more like last year, I like started to understand the system, I guess, better. And I think for myself, I'm just kind of really seeing now how everything is more tied together. And so you just like kind of like how the medical profession has become, where you can't just go and get like a head to toe, visit, like addressing every single issue. You've got to go to 5 different specialists. And I feel like everything is just kind of you're being dissected. I feel like that's kind of what we've done with everything. And I feel like we have got to remember that everything is connected. So it's like, who we are, our relationships, money, government, social issues, mental health, physical health. I'm not even sure what I've said up, but it's like, but you're getting the gist. Our friends, family members, like it's all connected as one big conglomerate, and kind of how we're doing one thing is how we're doing everything. And so what's been really exciting for me is I've been really listening a lot. Like, so I haven't really been physically maybe out there speaking a lot, but I have been listening a lot. And it really doesn't seem to matter who people are. And ironically, I became a member of the We Do Not Care Club for pre-menopause or perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopausal women. And the ironic part in like kind of being in that movement, and if you ever just want to look up some fun stuff, just like, check out some videos. Some videos are more serious than others, but like it's been a lot of fun at Just Being Melanie. She's on YouTube and TikTok. I don't know. I'm sure she's on Instagram too with that handle, but it's been just really a fun way to just kind of address all the things that we do not care about. But what I'm discovering as we're talking about all that is that what we're really saying is that we do care quite a bit. It's just we're also wanting to care more about ourselves than we have been doing in the past. And I mean, I've got so many different things to say. I'm not going to bore all of you with it right now. But to the matter at hand, I just feel like we need, like in listening to everybody, everyone seems to have very similar concerns. And you can tell the people who care and then the people who, quite frankly, are just dicks. And it's like, you're always going to have the dicks in the world. They're always going to be there. They've always been there. But for the most part, if you really pay attention to the people that you're coming in contact with, it's like people really haven't changed. It's not like all of a sudden people became problematic. The problematic people have always been problematic. People are just voicing more of their concerns now, which I also think is kind of good, although it is really hard and sometimes hurtful to have to go through this. But I feel that, if anybody who's on a path of self-discovery, and if you're listening to one of my videos, you are one of those people, you all know that whenever you're making big changes, you've got to do that excavation process, and you've got to like shine the light in all that crap that's in the shadows. And to me, collectively, that's what's been going on out there. And so what I'm really excited about is I do feel a call for more of the divine feminine to come up. People are no longer as willing to keep they don't want to keep having to be out there being all aggressive and just operating in that more patriarchal system. And this has nothing to do of however you identify, male, female, it does not matter. It's like, I just think that we've just grown tired. It's outlived its usefulness. I don't think it was ever really useful to begin with, but I think now we're actually seeing why it wasn't useful, and it's just highlighting things. And the only way to be able to work through it and make things better is if you know what's there. So I feel like that's what's going on. But it sucks, it's hard, it's challenging, people are hurt, relationships have been ruined. So I think people, like, and myself included, I will get in that train of thinking we're taking steps backwards. But then when I'm really, if I remove myself just a little bit and I take that ego part out, I realize we're not moving backwards. We still are moving forwards. It's just, it's hard to look at and it's hard to experience. So anyway, back to my let's get visual. I want to be doing like visualizations more with everybody, of just, like I said, focusing on what we want. So in my next videos to come, or I may even be doing some like live calls. I have a Zoom account. I would be doing something very, very short, because what I want to stay away from are these very long, drawn out calls, because quite frankly, I don't have time for it. And I don't think a lot of other people have time for it either, where I love content, and depending on, like if I've signed up for something, yes, give me the content. But sometimes when you're doing some of this, it can, like, less can actually be more. And I think that's what we have to focus on, is that, like, we can accomplish something in 5 minutes of just letting ourselves drop into ourselves, reconnect to us, and just remember what the heck we want. Remember who we are, what we want. And that's what I'm going to be working on and sharing and doing with all of you in some capacity. So stay tuned. But Kathy Hamilton is back in the saddle again. Just think of Aerosmith singing that. I'm not Steve Tyler, so I don't have Steve Tyler's kind of voice, and I won't try to sing that for you. But in my mind, I'm rocking it out. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll be seeing you again soon in video form, or in some capacity, maybe inviting you to some calls and whatnot. And yeah, so it's good. All right, I love you. See you soon. Bye.